Sup nerds? We actually got a request for this video, so let's talk about all of the camp allies that we can still get in Fallout 76. Interestingly enough, there are no allies you can buy for atoms at the item shop. Of course, Dell Lawson was from the item shop when Fallout TV show came out, but he was free for everyone who was playing back then, so no paid ones. Also, we can't get Dell Lawson anymore anyway, so no item shop ones as of right now. All of the ones I show you from here on out are still obtainable, though I didn't have all of them because a lot of them are expensive gold bullion wise. Thankfully, our friend Noemi has all of them, and she was kind enough to show me them and let me record them, so thank you, Noemi. And let's go! So most likely the first two that you will get are of course the quest related ones, and they are considered the main allies because not only do they get quests of their own, but they are romanceable as well. One of them is Beckett, and you get him by doing the quest ally Narrow Escape. His camp object is the Beckett's bar stand, and he actually sells food and alcohol.
You've got a great place here. Anything for you, boss? Sure. What can I get? You got it. Mind me. Just taking it all in.
The next main one is Sofia Daguerre, and you get her by doing the quest Ally Crash Landing. Her camp object is the USSA console, which I think is pretty cool. Not only that, but you can unlock the Athena random encounter as long as you decide to transfer Athena's AI to an Assaultron. This Assaultron Athena will randomly come by your camp as a vendor as long as Sophia's camp object is still active.
Bird count increased.
Then, there are 3 random encounter allies. They each can be found at random campsites as a random encounter. I usually found them around here. Talking to them will give the option to invite them to your camp. Doing so unlocks their camp objects to have them as allies, and they are the Raider Punk, whose camp object is the Raider Punk radio, which I did quite a bit. He also gives the Kindred Spirit buff when sleeping in your camp, while his camp object is still active, which is a plus 5% experience buff that lasts about an hour.
Gotta focus.
There's also the Settler Forager, whose camp object is the Forager's chair. Kinda boring to be honest, but he also gives the Kindred Spirit buff when sleeping in your camp, while his camp object is active.
Get him, Prime. Wait, this time it's, well...
And the third random encounter ally is the Settler Wanderer, and her camp object is the Wanderer's guitar. Pretty nice. She also gives a Kindred Spirit buff when sleeping in your camp, while her camp object is active. With those out of the way, there are only the scoreboard allies left, but fret not, the plans for every single one of them was added into the game to be purchased for gold bullion at Samuel in Foundation. It is important to note that you might have to max out your standing with the settlers in order to see these plans. Let's start with Solomon Hardy, who was first introduced in Season 3 but can now be purchased for 4,000 gold bullions at Samuel, and his camp object is the Solomon's Medic Station, and this one is pretty useful because he also serves as a medical supply vendor but also provides some medical services for caps, including healing your health, your radiation, diseases that you may have contracted, and even mutations. Then also from Season 3, there's Yasmin Chowdhury. I have no idea how to say that. Also for 4,000 gold bullions at Samuel. Her camp object is Yasmin's cooking stove, and she's also a recipe vendor and cooks a meal once a day.
How you doing? Tried any new foods lately?
And from the Season 6, there's Maul, again for 4,000 gold bullions from Samuel. His camp object is Maul's Cauldron, which looks pretty gnarly, but he also gives you a buff called Maul's Training, which gives you minus 30% of melee weapon weight, plus 20 radiation resistance, and plus 1 strength, which is pretty good. But he can also sell you an assortment of raw meats, some meat recipes, and these plants. And even some magazines. Pretty awesome overall. Also from Season 6 is Daphne, also for 4,000 gold bullion at Samuel. Her camp object is Daphne's toy box. Pretty cool. It is important to note that her outfit changes during daytime and nighttime, but also her daily buff also changes during nighttime or daytime. She also sells sports and toy related weapons / junk and some unstoppable magazines. But unlike most allies, Daphne will not participate in combat, nor can she be damaged. Not only so, but her outfit can't be changed either. Then from Season 7 there's Katherine Swan, again 4,000 gold bullions at Samuel, and her camp object is Katherine's research desk. She also gives a daily buff called Alien Astronomer, which gives minus 50% energy ammo weight and +1 perception. She's also a vendor that sells energy weapons and ammo, weathered asylum worker hat and surgical mask, and some lab-themed junk.
Will never lead you astray.
Also from Season 7 is Xerxo, or Elliot Manfield, for 4,000 gold bullion at Samuel. His camp object is the Xerxo spaceship, which is hilarious to see him on it. He gives a daily buff called Zebulonian Flight, which gives 50% cost reduction in fast traveling, which does stack with the travel agent perk, so that you can get up to 80% cost reduction. And he does give +1 agility. He also sells some ballistic ammo, non-legendary laser and plasma guns, some chems, alcohol, bulk scrap, and a recall keycard circuit board. Then in Season 8 we got Nguyen, another 4,000 gold bullion ally from Samuel. His camp object is Sam's workbench. His daily buff is called Tune Up, and it only lasts 30 minutes, and it is just a 1 random effect from this list here. He also sells some common clothing, alcohol and Nuka-Cola, food, food ingredients, ammo, cams, and a recall key card circuit board. Then with Season 11 came Leo Petrov, one of my favorites. 4,000 gold bullions at Samuel, his camp object is Leo's desk. His buff is a 60-minute duration Nuka inspiration, but the effects differ depending on which Nuka-Cola variants you give him. I personally like to give him the cranberry one to get that sweet EXP buff. He is also a vendor that sells various different things. Season 12 brought Steven Scarberry, 4k gold bullion at Samuel's too, and his camp object is actually Scarberry's Shrine, which is pretty awesome if you like Mothman themed camps. Just dress him up as a cultist and you got your own little cult. His daily buff is the Blessing of the True Mothman, which also buffs experience point gain, and he also sells various things. Then Season 13 brought Joey Bello, now 4k gold bullions at Samuel. His camp object is Joey's Stage, which is pretty cool looking, I guess. He also provides Kindred Spirit, but his lasts 3 hours instead of 1. But aside from that, he also has a daily buff called Rose Proof, which gives reduced stagger, minus 10% fire damage taken, minus 10% melee damage taken, and minus 10% explosion damage taken. He also sells some alcohol, junk, bubblegum, and a few magazines.
What's up, dum-dum?
With Season 14 came Grandma Junko, now 4k bullions at Samuel. Her camp object is Grandma's Chair. She also gives a 3-hour-long Kindred Spirit, while still being able to give her own daily buff as well, called Grandma's Home-Cooked Meal. Taking it will replenish your hunger and thirst completely and not have them deplete for an hour. She also sells some consumables, recipes, outfits, and junk. And at Season 16 we got Adelaide, now available for 4,000 gold bullions at Samuel as well. Her camp object is Adelaide's Table. Unlike other season allies, she is actually romanceable, which can get kinda weird. Her daily buff is called Human/Robot Interfacing, and it lasts an hour, giving you 25% less damage from robots and 15% more damage against robots. She also sells some apparels, alcohol, and her own autograph apparently. And that's it, nerds. Every camp ally that we can still get today. How many are you missing? Anyway, what should I collect next? It can be anything from any game as long as I think it's cool. Otherwise, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to see more collection videos like this, and of course, always nerd on.